Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of Paradigm Shift. My name is Austin and we're here in a brand new season. I thought we'd talk about something politically correct, so I thought we'd go with gender. Stick around, it's time to shift your paradigm. So, before we get started and jump into gender, let's feast our peepers on what's behind me. Look at this brand new pretty setup we have. Isn't that great? All right, so what is gender? Is it something we can change? Why? If not, and if we can, why? We're gonna try to answer some of those questions and dig a little deeper into what gender is today. Gender, if we go to Merriam-Webster and we type that in, we're gonna find the state of being male and female. If we go into Merriam-Webster and we type in sex, we're going to of course find the other thing, but then we're going to find the state of being male and female. As of right now, when this video is filmed, the definitions are exactly the same. Gender Spectrum, an organization whose mission is to create gender-sensitive and inclusive environments for teens and children, have a different definition that they've incorporated into their website. Let's go ahead and check that out so we have some different viewpoints here. For many people, the terms gender and sex are used interchangeably and thus incorrectly. The idea has become so common, particularly in Western societies, that it is rarely questioned. We are born assigned a sex and set out into the world. For many people, this is cause for little, if any, dissonance. Yet, biological sex and gender are different. Gender is not inherently or solely connected to one's physical anatomy. Now, when put into this nicely worded paragraph, I find myself nodding along to Gender Spectrum, but let's dig a little deeper anyway and see if there's things that contradict or, attest to what Gender Spectrum is saying. Now, here are a few of the obvious differences between males and females. Women have the XX chromosomes as their 23rd pair, and men have the XY. Now, chromosomes are made up of DNA, and DNA is in every single cell of our body, working like computer code to direct the body's functions from the inside out. Now, again, we don't have to talk about what's between the knees, but men tend to be taller than women and have a heavier bone structure. Here are some differences between men and women that I personally was less familiar with. So, men tend to be stronger above the torso, while women tend to be stronger below it. Women have very different shaped pelvises than men because their pelvises are better designed for giving birth to children. Along that same topic, women tend to have a higher body fat content to help in the production and nourishment of unborn children. In fact, if a woman's body fat content drops below a certain point, her menstrual cycle can actually shut down to prevent undernourished children. In the brain, we find even more differences between ladies and gentlemen. Men tend more towards rapid action thinking, while women tend to stop and think a little bit more before they act. Men, once they get into a project, can become almost singularly focused on that one thing, and almost nothing else seems to matter to them. Women are better able to transition from one project to another. And also, the way their brains channel neurochemicals, they're much better equipped to sit still longer, while men tend to be much more impulsive and not able to sit still as long. Cut. I'm very hungry. Let's go eat right now. Okay. But wait, there's more differences between men and women. By 20 months, a little girl is likely to have twice the vocabulary of a boy the same age. If not encouraged to speak and participate in conversation, many boys can suffer verbal or writing issues. The right side of a boy's brain is slightly more responsive when he is little than a little girl's. It is on the right side of a brain that spatial skills are found, and that makes sense of little dudes wanting to demonstrate when they are excited about something versus little ladies wanting to tell you about something when they are excited. When in the classroom, boys and girls tend to learn differently as well. Girls tend to learn and produce knowledge better when it's either read to them or they can write it or read themselves. Guys, on the other hand, tend to learn and then produce knowledge better when it's demonstrated to them or they can practice the skill themselves. Okay, so men and women, boys and girls, males and females are very different, and their difference has purpose. Now, if we were all basically the same and could choose our genders based on how we felt, then there wouldn't really be any actual diversity, there would really only be diversity in the way we felt genders were perceived. Think of it like this. If a hippo and lion are basically the same physically and could therefore choose their identity as either a hippo or a lion based on how they felt, neither would be able to live either life to the fullest of their potential. The anatomy of a hippo, small legs, body designed for water, life, etc., would get in the way of a lifestyle of a lion, running after prey, lying in wait for animals, attack, and raising their young, and of course vice versa. In the same way, the differences in gender anatomy between males and females are designed for sometimes different lifestyles, slightly, like solving problems, but sometimes very large differences in lifestyle, like giving birth. And guess what? It's okay not to feel like you fit or reach the expectations of what your gender is called by society to be. Consider Louis XIV. He wore heels and a lot of makeup, but he was still a man and considered himself one. Or the wives of Sparta, who are sometimes very masculine in their tendencies of hunting and fighting, but were still very feminine in their identity as being women. Okay, so as we've seen with all the different differences, it's physically not really possible to completely change your gender. That would mean changing every single cell, your brain, bone structure, the list goes on and on. But we can celebrate that we live in a time where interpreting how you live as a man or a woman is pretty open. Guys, grow a beard or shave it off, wear skinny jeans or buy baggy cargos, get swole at the gym or just spend your time writing poetry. Or both. Women, get the latest mani-pedi or flaunt some mad dreads. Spend time watching Next Top Models or MMA. Dress in Lily or in a jean skirt or both, though please not at the same time. So, be diverse in the way you expressed your femininity or masculinity as a man or woman. And be happy that we live in an age where we have the freedom to do so. Thank you for watching another episode of Paradigm Shift. As always, the links to my sources are in the description below. If you liked what I said, share it on Facebook to let your friends know where you stand. If you did not like what I said, share it on Facebook so you can let your friends know where you stand. Like and subscribe. See you next time. I hope we shifted your paradigm. I'll just be like, be diverse. Ugh.